Hello, Dustin with Blessed Without Boundaries. Today I'm going to winterize my RV. We are in a warmer climate. We're down in Savannah, Georgia area, and we don't necessarily have to, but since we're putting our rig in storage for a month just to be safe, rather be safe than sorry, I'm going to go ahead and winterize it quickly. I do need my water hose, which is still hooked up to my water in my RV, my wand to help clean out the toilet and the tank, adapter to hook up my air compressor to the hose to blow out the lines, a funnel, marine and RV antifreeze, an air compressor. I've actually never used this air compressor to do this. I usually use a little bit bigger one, but we'll see if this works. Adjustable wrench or a socket, and drill to access the panel in the water heater. So I'm going to start by just shutting off my water. Bleeding out my water lines just to get the water out. I'm going to go ahead and dump my tanks. My black tank should be pretty empty. I haven't used it, so there's really nothing in there. I'm going to drain out my gray tank, which you do just like you always would. And then while that's draining, I'm going to disconnect my water. I have the outdoor shower here, so just winterize, empty all the hoses. I'm going to leave that right there because I might want to hook that up when I hook up the air compressor so the water does, or the air doesn't seep out right here. Disconnect your hose. And we use this filter to help filter the water from the part. Won't need this anymore. So my gray tank is still draining. I'm gonna let that finish. While I do that, we're gonna go over to the water heater. So you should have a panel on the outside of your rig somewhere with the water heater access. Here's our plug for the water heater. By removing that plug, it'll drain, but you're going to want to release the pressure from that. And again, make sure that your hot water is off and has been off for a little while, because of, if not, you could get burnt. Ours has been off since last night, so we should be okay. You can also use a socket here, but just where mine's located, I've always just used an adjustable wrench. So now that I got the plug removed, the water will freely drain out. Just to prevent big puddling, I'm gonna just let it drain completely. And my fresh water tank is currently empty, so I don't have anything in it. But if you did, you'd want to drain all the water out of that as well. And there's just an access underneath. Here, I'll show you that for my rig. It's just that valve right there. You would just open that up and let the fresh water drain out. And we're just coming to the end of the water in the water heater. Now that we're pretty much empty, I'm going to go around, grab my drill so we can bypass the water heater. So as you can see, it's pack up day for us. We're packing everything up since we're putting in storage, so we got everything all tore out. But behind this panel here is my water heater. And I actually usually don't take this out. I can usually shut off what I'm doing here by reaching through this cabinet. So I almost never take this off. But so I can show you what I'm doing, I'm going to this time. So then right here is the water heater. That's what we just drained. And as you can see, the bypass is closed, which is what you want during normal operation. And then you got your cold water coming in here, you got your hot water coming out here. If we close both of these right here and open this up, now we got one continuous water line. So we're bypassing the water heater. Water can't get in, water can't get out. So we don't have to worry about when we push the antifreeze in, that antifreeze gets into the water heater, because you don't need that. So now we are ready to blow out the water lines. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and plug this in, let it charge up. Again, this air compressor is a lot smaller than the one I use when I'm at home. So I'm hoping it'll be powerful enough. Which it should be, because I don't usually use my big one. I don't fully open this valve here when I'm using my full-size air compressor, so I think I can control it here. So this has a hose spigot on here. Alright, so now that this is all charged up, I should be good. This has 100 psi, which is way more than that's probably too much, so I'll still be controlling it a little bit from here. But you just plug in just like you would your hose. And since we already bypassed the water heater, it won't blow this water out the water heater. So we're actually going to have to make sure that we open up some of the valves to avoid damaging. So all the water will come out. And again, because we bypassed the water heater, we only have to open really one side of each valve. And then just the kitchen. So again, I'm gonna just hook this up to here, and I'm gonna slowly open this up a little bit to push air into the water lines, and you're gonna see water fly out. In fact, I might get wet here from this one. I'm gonna put that down a little just to stop from spraying me up high. And then all of our faucets are open, so water's gonna blow out of there as well. And then you just want to check all of them. Again, I only have that open a little bit because I don't want to put more than 30 psi or so through my water lines. Looks like our tub, our sink, our toilet, and our kitchen have all drained. So we got that all figured out. Let's go shut off the water, or the air, I mean. Off the air, and then I can kill off the air compressor, and our water lines are now clear of any water in them, so we do have to load them up with some antifreeze to protect them from any little tiny parts of water that might still be in there, and then we have to wash out our tanks. So I'll show you that next. So to clean out the tanks, I always stay connected to the drain where I can dump, and I leave everything open so that way the water will flow through. So I'm going to show you what I do. I use this wand, which allows me, when I open this up, there's 4 holes on here, so it shoots water at a higher pressure because they're just little pinholes, and it allows me to put this wand down into the toilet and spray out the black water tank. So you just connect this to the hose, and it's got a shut off on and off, and then we can charge the water, and then we'll clean out this tank. So I'll show you what that looks like. So now that we got this connected to the hose, we got the water charged. I'm going to show you kind of how this works. So when you turn it on, water shoots out of all 4 ends. And if I open it all the way up, it shoots at a higher pressure. So open my hose is long enough to get into the toilet here. So again, we just open up the valve here, and then we just rinse that out down there. So now that we cleaned out the tanks, we can go ahead and shut off the drain here. Everything's all drained, and we don't want the antifreeze to come out once we do that, so make sure that these are shut off. And we're pretty much done. We just got to rinse out our connection just like you would do when you drain your pipes or your tanks any other time. Now what we got to do is just load and charge the antifreeze using the water pump. So let me show you how to do that. Alright, well, I picked up a recruit to help me. My daughter Alexis is going to help with this final part. So you just dump the antifreeze into your freshwater tank. But before you do that, make sure that if you drained your fresh water, which we didn't have any in here, but make sure that that's closed, so you're not just dumping it in here and it's coming right out onto the ground. So we are going to go ahead, put the funnel in, and I got this funnel. It's not a very good one. There's probably better ones, so it is a little bit of a challenge for me to fill this in here. And you don't need very much. There's a 32-foot travel trailer. 2 gallons is probably more than enough. I bought 3, so I'm going to dump a little bit in some of my tanks. It's also a good idea to put some in your traps. Put that here for now. On the sinks. So again, we're just going to go nice and slow so we don't spill. So we're just finishing getting this in here. And again, I usually put about 2 gallons in the tank. Alright, so I'll show you how to get those through the water lines. Alright, so now that I got the antifreeze in the freshwater tank, I'm going to go to my control panel here, and I'm going to utilize my water pump, and I'm going to turn that on, and when I do that, it'll pump that 2 gallons of antifreeze through the water lines. And I open 1 valve at a time. The first one that's going to fill up is going to be my outdoor shower. I have that hose hooked back up there, and you want to make sure you plug that, otherwise it's just going to shoot your antifreeze out there. And then I got my 3 sinks, my kitchen, my bathroom, and my outdoor kitchen. And then I have my bathtub and toilet. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on this water pump. You'll hear it kick in. I'm going to give it a second to load that outdoor shower. Alright, so then once I turn on the sink, again, I'm going to wait until I see pink come out. So now that I got the pink, that tells me that these lines are all loaded with the antifreeze. Maybe do a little bit of the hot, a little bit of the cold. And then you just repeat that with all the sinks. Notice there's still a little water that comes through. So then I got my pink, and then I just got a couple more water fixtures here. Wait for pink, got pink, wait for pink, and then tub. And lastly, the toilet. And we got pink. So the very last step is I take my 3rd gallon of the antifreeze after shut off the water pump. And then I pour a little bit in each sink to fill up the trap, make sure the trap is full of the antifreeze so it doesn't freeze. And then it also puts a little bit of this into each tank as well, so the black tank and the gray tank. So I'm just going to dump a little bit. Come around the corner. Dump a little bit right into trap here. And I know I'm filling up more than the trap, but I want a little bit in that gray tank because you saw a little bit of the water go in there. This will help make it so that it doesn't freeze. And yeah, I know we're weird. We use our shower as a closet. We just use the bathhouse at the RV parks we stay in. And then the rest I put right into the toilet here. So that gives us and then just leave maybe a little bit there. And we are all winterized, so we are ready for winter without our pipes freezing or our tanks freezing. I'm going to show you a little bit of the tools that I used and how you can get those. So again, I'm going to link a couple of these things so that way you have some of these tools. But again, we use this to hook up to our air compressor to blow that out. We use the funnel in order to dump the antifreeze into the tanks, and then we use this to clean out or into the freshwater tank. We use this to clean out our black tank. So I'm going to link all these, maybe a little bit better funnel. That little air compressor actually worked perfect, so I'm probably going to use that going forward from now on. But I will set up some links so that way you guys have all this stuff at your fingertips that you can order. Thank you. Have a blessed day.